There's a Machiavellian rule of power most men learn too late. The one who reacts loses. And today I'm going to show you how to dismantle an attacker who is trying to shame you in public, so they end up embarrassed and not you. These techniques turn the tables not by arguing, not by insulting them back, but by doing something so calm, so surgical, that it makes them look unstable in front of everybody. There's a disrespect reversal protocol that turns shame into a weapon. And once you see it, you'll never react the same again. But before I begin, I need you to understand why you are being shamed and attacked to begin with. When someone tries to shame you in public, they're not just joking. They're not just being honest. They're trying to cut your status, erase your confidence, and make the room agree that you're beneath them. Yeah, I know. Pretty shitty if you ask me, but I'm going to keep it real. The moment you react, you lose badly. Not physically, but socially. Because the moment you defend yourself, or worse, apologize, you just handed your power to the attacker on a silver platter. And once the room sees you submit like that, it's hard to unsee, hard to recover. So stick with me, because not only will I show you how to break the shamer, but you'll also learn how to delete the part of you that reacts. Phase 1. The anatomy of the hit. Before you can control it socially, you need to understand it biologically. When someone shames you, why would you wear that? Did you really just say that? Everybody knows you're lying. You're embarrassing yourself. Your brain doesn't hear words. Your brain hears threat. Your amygdala hijacks the system. Your body starts preparing for survival. Fight, flight, freeze. Because a long time ago, shame wasn't about feelings. Shame meant exile, and exile meant death. So your nervous system treats public humiliation like a life or death event. That's why your voice cracks. That's why your hands get sweaty. That's why you feel the urge to scramble and fix it immediately. And this is exactly where you lose. Because in modern social hierarchy, the person reacting is the person losing. The shamer knows this very well. They are betting on your reaction. They want your face to change. They want you to stutter. They want you to explain. They want you to look down. Because if you do, the room reads it as guilt, or weakness, or low status. So step 1 is this. Realize the attack is not about you. Shame is projection. People shame others when they feel threatened, or insecure, or small inside. A happy, solid, powerful person doesn't need to embarrass somebody in public to feel tall. So when they come for you, they are confessing something without realizing it. I need attention. I need control. I'm threatened by you. I'm empty. I need you to be small so I can feel big. Let that sink in. A lot of you are out here thinking, damn, maybe I really am the problem. No, sometimes you're just the closest target to a weak man's insecurity. And when you truly see that, the heat in your neck starts disappearing. You stop being the victim. You become the observer. And the observer is the most dangerous person in the room. Phase 2, the void pause. Let's talk about the gap. Most people cannot tolerate silence. When an insult lands, it creates a vacuum, and humans are trained to fill it. Nervous laughter, instant explanation, defensive jokes, anger, stuttering, because silence feels risky. But for a disciplined man, silence is not a risk. Silence is control. Here's the move. They insult you and you do nothing. Not the nothing of a scared man. The nothing of a man deciding, are you even worth my energy? You go still. You don't blink fast. You don't look away. You don't force a smile. You don't frown. You just look at them, calm, not aggressive. Aggression shows they got to you. You look at them like a doctor looks at a chart. Flat, bored, clinical. Then you count in your head. 1, 2, 3. And in those 3 seconds, the room shifts. Because everybody was waiting for your reaction. And when it doesn't come, the eyes go back to them. Now the shamer feels it. Why isn't he reacting? Did I miss? Does he not care? Is he about to do something? And the silence becomes heavy. But listen carefully. It's not your awkwardness. It's theirs. Because you refuse to pick up the burden they threw at you. So it drops at their feet. That's the void. You absorb their energy and return nothing. And that nothing makes them start talking more. Trying to rescue themselves. You'll hear things like, I'm just joking. Relax. Cat got your tongue? Why are you so serious? That's not confidence, that's panic. That's them trying to fix the frame. Because you broke it with silence, don't save them. Let them sit in it. Trust me, bro, this works. Phase 3. Psychological judo. After the void, you can speak. But here's the rule. Never defend. Defending is proof they got under your skin. If someone calls you a liar and you scream, I'm not a liar, You just connected yourself to liar in the room's mind. Now you're debating innocence. A man with real presence doesn't debate his identity with a clown. So instead of defending, you flip it. You don't treat their insult like a fact. You treat it like a behavior. You analyze them like, interesting, why would someone say that out loud? Example, they say, why are you so sensitive? Most people go, I'm not sensitive. No, you pause, slight head tilt, and you say calmly, you good? You seem really upset about this. That was a weird thing to say out loud. What's going on with you today? Now watch what happened. We're not talking about your sensitivity anymore. We're talking about their emotional state. You just framed yourself as stable and them as reactive. That's frame inversion. Now they have to explain themselves. No, I'm not upset. I'm just exactly. Now they're defending. And remember, the one defending is losing. Phase 4, agree plus amplify. The unshameable move. Sometimes the shamer is right. Maybe you did mess up. Maybe you're late. Maybe you are awkward in certain rooms. Maybe you're still building. They're counting on you being ashamed of it. So you remove the shame. You own it. With calm confidence. They say, you're egotistical. You smile slightly. Yeah, it's one of my better traits. They say, you don't know what you're doing. You chuckle. Facts. And somehow it still works out. They say, you're weird. You nod. Yep, that's why I'm not basic. This is not about being a comedian. This is about taking the weapon out of their hand. Because shame only works when you're hiding. When you're not ashamed of yourself, nobody can shame you. You become Teflon. The mud slides off, and the person throwing it ends up with dirty hands. Phase 5. The room is the target. Here's what most men misunderstand. Shame is a performance. The attacker is not trying to correct you. They're trying to impress the crowd. They want laughs. They want agreement. They want the room to crown them, so stop focusing on them. Win the room, but you don't win the room by pleading or looking hurt. People don't respect victims. It's harsh, but it's real. The room respects control. So your goal is to remain calm and stable while someone is acting weird. When you do that, the crowd subconsciously shifts towards you. Not because they love you, because you look like the leader. Now, a powerful tactic here is ally eye contact. Not childish, look at him. Energy, but subtle connection. They take a shot at you, you hold your calm. Then you glance at one neutral person briefly like, yeah, anyway. A micro smirk, a raised eyebrow, minimal. It silently tells the room, this isn't serious, he's performing. Now, the attacker starts feeling isolated because nothing is scarier to an attention seeker than realizing the room isn't feeding them. The key is restraint. Do not overdo it. You're not trying to be petty. You're trying to signal composure. Slow movements, relaxed shoulders, deep breathing, low voice. Let them be the storm. You be the mountain. Storms get tired, mountains don't. Phase 6, the ghost protocol. Some people are not worth tactics. Some people live off reactions. If you fight them, they win. If you outsmart them, they enjoy the game. They want any engagement. So with those types, you go nuclear, you delete them, they speak, and you continue what you were doing, like a breeze passed through. No pause, no face, no eye contact, no explanation. If they stand in front of you, you look through them, past their head, like they're not registered. This is not the silent treatment. Silent treatment is emotional. This is active non-existence. It says you're not even important enough to be acknowledged. And that triggers primal panic in them. Because being ignored hurts more than being insulted. Insults at least acknowledge existence. Ignoring it denies it. They'll escalate. They'll get louder. Let them. Because the louder they get while you remain calm, the crazier they look. They burn themselves in their own desperation. And you're still unbothered. Phase 7, the internal fortress. Now listen very closely. These techniques are useless if your soul is fragile. You can memorize pauses and lines, but if you're trembling inside, people sense it. Micro expressions don't lie. So here's the real work. To defeat shame externally, you have to remove shame internally. Why does shame hurt? Because you gave strangers access to your self-worth. You let outside opinions audit your value. Why? Why do you trust them more than you trust your own standards? A rich baby daddy mindset is not about pretending you're perfect. It's about being so grounded in who you are that outside noise can't rewrite you. If you know you're building and someone calls you broke, it doesn't destroy you because you already know the plan. If you know you're disciplined and someone calls you lazy, it's almost funny because reality is louder than their opinion. So you build the fortress like this. You face what you're ashamed of: your past, your bank account, your body, your mistakes, your relationship else, your moments of weakness. Bring it into the light. Say, yeah, I've failed. Yeah, I'm still leveling up. Yeah, I've been through it. And I'm still here? Because the shamer can only hurt you with the truth if you're hiding it from yourself. If you hide nothing, they can hit nothing. Nothing to hide, nothing to prove. That's power. And if you're a single baby daddy watching this, understand this. Your child doesn't need you to be flawless. They need you to be solid. A man who can be tested and still remain himself. Phase 8. Surgical strikes when you do speak. Sometimes silence isn't enough. Sometimes you do need to cut, but you cut like a surgeon, not a brawler. One sentence. Clean, calm, final. Here are 3. 1. The who frame. They insult you. You look at them and ask, who are you trying to impress right now? That exposes the performance instantly. 2. The repeat request. They say something slick. You say calmly, say it again. Or, I didn't catch that. Repeat it. Most people won't repeat disrespect twice. It sounds uglier the second time. 3. The compassion trap. They take a shot. You smile lightly. I can tell you're going through it. Don't take it out on me. Now if they get mad, they prove you right. If they back down, they look small. Either way, you're frame 1. Use these sparingly. Your main weapon is composure. Phase 9. The exit aftermath. How you end it matters. After the pause, the stare, the flip, the strike, do not linger. Shift attention to someone else. Continue the conversation. Walk away. Because attention is the currency. And when you withdraw it, you punish them with absence. Don't check if the room is watching you. Don't look for validation. Move like it was nothing. Because the ultimate insult is this: to be forgettable. So make them forgettable. The real reason. This matters. We live in a world where shame is a sport. Online, in group chats, in the comments, at work, in public, everybody judges. And if you don't have these defenses, you'll start shrinking. You'll start censoring yourself, over-explaining, over-apologizing. You'll become a ghost. Learning these tactics is not about becoming evil. It's about protecting your mind. It's about building a perimeter so other people's insecurities can't touch your identity. Because when you know you can handle shame, you become fearless. You take risks. You speak up. You lead. You walk different. And I'm going to say this clearly. Once you learn and master this, do not become the shamer. Don't use this on good people. Don't use this to crush someone weaker. That's a cowardly move. Use this to hold your ground. Use this to protect your peace. Use this to protect your future, your mission. And if you've got one, your kid. Be dangerous but disciplined. Because the world doesn't need more loud men. It needs more solid men. Subscribe. Join the movement. Turn on the bell. Build your legacy. Fuck excuses.